It was a few years back. I met an Italian guy. He was deaf. And that was the first time I traveled to Europe. I went backpacking and I met a lot of people. And we were talking about people in general. And he said, you know those American guys, they're afraid to wear the tight pants. And I said, well, you know what? That's just not the fashion over here. It hasn't hit America. You know, now they do, but back then they weren't. He said, no, you know what it is? Those American guys are afraid to show the little dicks they have, and us Europeans were proud of it. And I was laughing because I never thought that was the reason why. And because my Italian friend, he was a total womanizer. And I was talking with an American girl I knew who actually warned me about, oh, watch those Italian men. It doesn't even matter if they're married or if they have a girlfriend. They'll cheat in a heartbeat. So because of that, because of the knowledge I had, I knew I needed to be careful and watch out. And he never asked me for a date or anything like that, but I already knew that our conversation was going to lead to something along those lines. And so I ended up asking him, why are you so fascinated with all these women? He said, it's just, I grew up, seeing men with women and with a lot of women, and made me want to do the same thing. And I know in Americans there's a high percentage of divorce rate and adultery. And it's people's fears, people's actions, depend on their sex life. Maybe they're not fascinated enough with it. Over in Italy, they're fascinated by it, and so, they dress the part and they're into fashion and things like that. And over here, it's not so much, and I guess that explains why. Well, he had to tell me that explained why Americans over here weren't into fashion, couldn't wear the tight pants because they're afraid of their small dick, so they had to wear all those baggy pants. So to say how we got to that conversation, it just led there naturally. But he just wanted to brag about his Italian pride and his endowment. So later I went back to Italy and I met another Italian man who's very, very respectful, very, very cordial. And we had sex, and I could not believe the size, what I saw. It was so huge. It was just huge. I can't believe how big it was. And, so that made me think, I guess maybe those guys are different. Maybe over there they are a lot bigger. But, he was very straightforward and asked me if I wanted to go there, and I was ready, and that was my experience.